The gentleman yields back. For what purpose does the gentleman from Texas rise?
I rise in support of the amendment.
Gentleman moves to, gentleman's recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise in support of this amendment, and I am very pleased that this subject has been brought to the House floor tonight. I am very pleased that Congressman Barr has offered this amendment. It does not solve the problem that we face here in the Congress and in this country, and that is the perpetual invasion of our privacy. It has been said, even by the author of the bill, the immigration bill, that the intent was not to have a national ID card. But if you would read the regulations now being written by the Department of Transportation, it can be seen as nothing else. This indeed would be a national ID card. Last week we dealt with the subject of medical IDs and a national data bank. Fortunately, something was put into the Patient Protection Act to stymie that a little bit. But there is an ongoing onslaught against personal privacy in this country, and in 1966, of course, when the immigration bill was passed, this authority was given. Quite frankly, even though I'm quite pleased with what the efforts have been made, the efforts made here tonight, I think ultimately if we're sincere about protecting the American people and guaranteeing that we do not have a national identification card, we will repeal that authority. Tonight we're not doing that, but at least we're putting a roadblock in these regulations now being written. I do not think this is an accident. I do not think that this is something that we should be surprised about. Too often, Congress writes regulations and gives authority to certain departments and agencies of government, and then they go beyond the scope, and too often we do not pay much attention to it. Fortunately, under these circumstances, I think that it has been brought to the attention of the Congress and proper action has been started. So I am very pleased to be able to support this amendment. In the bigger picture, I think that we are going to continue to see this problem because when a government gets very large, when a government gets very bureaucratic, and when it's difficult to solve all the problems, the government naturally becomes more authoritarian. And then the effort becomes, how do we get the government to work efficiently? So there's a contest going on in the country today, and it's going to continue. The efficiency of government versus the privacy and the freedoms of the individual. I do not believe that we have been sent here to protect the interests of the state. We have been sent here to uphold the Constitution and protect the liberties of the individual. So this is a perfect example of a contest going on between the bureaucracy and the encroachment of big government versus the individual liberties and, of every American citizen. So although I am pleased with this amendment and hopefully it will pass, I think we have to continue to be vigilant about privacy in our medical records, the abuse of the Social Security number as the national identifier. There are many, many pieces of legislation. There's 40 times we have authorized in this Congress for the Social Security number to be used as the identifier. It was never intended that way. So I plead with my fellow colleagues to continue to be vigilant, to watch out and protect the individual liberty and the privacy of all of us. And I yield back.
The gentleman yields back.